Forget everything you think you know about Rita Morgan. The Rita from the Dexter show, gentle, loving, tragically doomed, is a complete rewrite. In the books, she's cold, detached, and emotionally distant. Her relationship with Dexter, purely functional, and her death, it never even happens. The show's creators didn't just tweak her character, they overhauled her entire purpose. And it's not just a small change, it's a complete transformation that redefined Dexter's entire arc. So why did they do it? And did turning Rita into Dexter's emotional anchor make her death more powerful or completely meaningless? Let's find out. Rita's portrayal in the show is built around her gentle nature, vulnerability, and kindness. She serves as the perfect counterbalance to Dexter's dark, calculated persona. But the Rita from the books is nothing like that. She's colder, tougher, and emotionally detached. In the show, her traumatic relationship with Paul leaves her desperate for stability. That desperation makes her cling to Dexter, viewing him as a dependable presence. Her kindness and nurturing nature highlight Dexter's struggle to feel human. The books, however, present a completely different character. Rita is pragmatic, emotionally distant, and focused solely on her children. Her relationship with Dexter is purely functional, lacking emotional depth or warmth. To Dexter, she's simply a convenient cover. The show needed Rita to embody goodness. Her kindness contrasts with Dexter's darkness, making his quest for normalcy seem more genuine. Had she been portrayed as cold and detached, audiences would struggle to connect with her or Dexter's journey. Would Dexter have stayed with book Rita as long as he did with the show's version? Absolutely not. The emotional chemistry simply wouldn't exist. The show's Rita isn't just a convenience. She represents the illusion of normalcy Dexter craves. The show positions Rita as more than a love interest. She's Dexter's safety net and symbol of normalcy. Her emotional baggage and vulnerability make her the perfect cover. As a single mother scarred by her past, she's unlikely to question Dexter's secrets. Her need for stability makes her trusting and naive, but what starts as a cover grows into something deeper. The show develops their bond to feel almost genuine. Dexter begins to care about her, even if he can't grasp what love truly means. This progression makes him appear more human and gives the audience a reason to empathize with him. In the books, Rita serves a far more practical purpose. Dexter views her as nothing more than a tool to maintain his disguise. There's no emotional growth or attachment. To him, she's simply a prop, useful, but ultimately insignificant. The show's portrayal makes Dexter relatable. By giving him an affectionate bond, even if imperfect, the audience sees him as more than just a monster. Rita's kindness offers him a glimpse of normalcy. Without her, he'd seem cold and mechanical. But here's the twist. Making Rita loving and kind heightened the tragedy of her death. It wasn't just a relationship ending. It was the destruction of the only stability Dexter had. That loss became one of the most impactful moments in the series. How much did Rita truly understand about Dexter's darkness? In the show, her attraction to Dexter's calm, protective nature blinds her to his true self. She ignores red flags, his emotional distance, strange habits, and unexplained absences because she craves stability. For someone healing from abuse, illusion matters more than truth. But here's what many fans overlook. Rita's ignorance is intentional. The writers crafted her emotional investment to make her betrayal devastating. Her trust in Dexter amplifies the tragedy of her death. The audience feels the impact precisely because she was so innocent and trusting. Compare that to the books, where Rita is emotionally detached and pragmatic. Her focus is entirely on her children, not on building a meaningful connection with Dexter. Their relationship is transactional, lacking depth or genuine care. To Dexter, she's a convenient tool, not a partner. This difference is crucial. The show makes Rita's death devastating because she's emotionally intertwined with Dexter's life. The books, on the other hand, keep her distant and functional. Without any emotional connection, her survival feels hollow and insignificant. The real problem? By keeping her emotionally detached, the books make her expendable. Her continued existence serves no purpose other than maintaining Dexter's facade. Killing her off wouldn't matter because the audience never invests in her. Would her death in the books have made any difference? Absolutely not. The emotional detachment is so complete that losing her would feel meaningless. And that's the biggest flaw. There's no impact, no consequence. The show's version of Rita resonates because her emotional connection to Dexter makes her loss matter. Rita's death in the show wasn't just shocking. It was a deliberate turning point. That iconic bathtub scene didn't just kill a character. It shattered Dexter's illusion of normalcy. It was brutal, unforgettable, and essential for the show's progression. But here's the twist. This moment never happens in the books. Rita survives, and that difference exposes a critical flaw in her character's purpose. In the books, Rita's role remains shallow and irrelevant to Dexter's internal struggles. She's merely a prop, a convenient cover to help him maintain his facade. Whether she lives or dies, her presence lacks impact because she's never emotionally connected to Dexter. Keeping her alive only reinforces her expendability. The show's choice to kill Rita wasn't about shock value. It was about forcing Dexter to confront his own delusions. Removing the one person who represented purity and hope shattered his illusion of a balanced life. It was a brutal consequence of his actions, not just a plot twist. And here's the key insight. The decision to kill Rita altered the entire trajectory of the series. Her death cemented the idea that Dexter's quest for normalcy was doomed. In contrast, the books keep her alive, but fail to give her significance. She lingers without purpose, stripped of emotional depth. Keeping Rita alive would have robbed the series of its most pivotal moment. Her death was the catalyst that drove Dexter to his darkest depths. Without it, the series would lack the emotional weight and urgency that made it compelling. Both versions of Rita share a common thread: surviving trauma. But the way each version handles that trauma is entirely different. The show makes her pain central to her character, using her abusive relationship with Paul as a foundation for her desperation for stability. She clings to Dexter, not just out of love, but out of a need for safety and normalcy. The show deepens Rita's character by making her healing journey a core element of her story. Her emotional struggle makes her relatable and gives her connection to Dexter a genuine quality. It's this vulnerability that makes her death hit so hard. Her healing was real, but incomplete, cut short before she could truly rebuild her life. The books, however, entirely dismiss her trauma. There's no acknowledgement of her pain, no growth, and no emotional complexity. She exists solely to maintain Dexter's cover. Her character remains static, devoid of depth or progression. Without emotional weight, her presence feels empty and inconsequential. By ignoring her trauma, the books render her irrelevant. Her survival lacks meaning because her character is never allowed to evolve. The writers missed a critical opportunity to explore her trauma as a meaningful narrative tool. Instead, she's reduced to a prop, functional but forgettable. And here's the real question. Does a character have to be broken to be compelling? The show uses Rita's trauma to humanize her, while the books rely on her practicality alone. One approach creates depth, the other leaves her emotionally vacant. Rita's death in the show is iconic for a reason. The bathtub scene wasn't just shocking, it was a pivotal moment that shattered Dexter's illusion of normalcy. Finding her lifeless body with baby Harrison drenched in blood was a brutal wake-up call. It was the undeniable proof that Dexter's attempt at living a normal life was doomed from the start. But here's what often gets overlooked. Rita doesn't die in the books. She survives and continues to exist in Dexter's life without real consequence. No emotional fallout, no transformative moment, just a stagnant presence. Her survival feels empty because it lacks significance. The showrunners understood something essential. Rita's death wasn't just about shock value. It forced Dexter to confront his delusion of a balanced life. By tearing away his anchor to innocence, the writers pushed him to confront the darkness he could never truly escape. It made audiences question whether Dexter could ever find happiness, or if his nature would always destroy it. The books completely miss this level of emotional complexity. Keeping Rita alive only maintains Dexter's facade without challenging it. Her continued existence feels like a missed opportunity, a background element with no real purpose. By sparing Rita, the books remove one of the most powerful catalysts for Dexter's development. Her death in the show creates a defining moment that forces him to grapple with the consequences of his actions. Without it, the books offer nothing but stagnation. Dexter's journey lacks urgency, growth, and true consequence. The reality is clear. Keeping Rita alive would have robbed the show of its most powerful moment. Her death was necessary to break Dexter's illusion of control. Without that brutal loss, his story would have remained flat and predictable. Would Dexter have been as impactful if Rita had survived? Absolutely not. Her death wasn't just a shocking twist. It was the catalyst that forced Dexter to confront the harsh reality of his actions. It shattered his illusion of control, plunging him into a spiral of recklessness and introspection. Losing Rita made him confront the true cost of his double life. The books, however, avoid pushing Dexter to that breaking point. Keeping Rita alive leaves his character arc stagnant. She's not a catalyst for growth or change, just a convenient tool to maintain his facade. Her survival removes any sense of reckoning or genuine consequence. The show's brilliance lies in how it uses Rita to humanize Dexter. Her presence gives his pursuit of normalcy emotional weight. When that illusion is violently ripped away, it forces the audience to question Dexter's capacity for change. It's a painful but necessary turning point that propels the series forward. By contrast, Rita's continued existence in the books feels hollow. Her character serves a purpose but offers no depth or significance. Without tragedy, there's no growth, no evolution. The writers failed to challenge Dexter's comfort zone, leaving his journey predictable and flat. The show's creators understood something crucial. Rita had to be more than a background character. Her kindness, contrasted with Dexter's darkness, created a tension that the books never achieved. By killing her off, the show dismantled Dexter's illusion of control, forcing him to confront his own delusions. Rita's death proved that context shapes characters as much as personality. In the show, her loss propels Dexter's narrative into darker, more complex territory. The books, meanwhile, keep her around as a functional element within Dexter's constructed reality. The decision to kill her wasn't just creative, it was essential. It exposed Dexter's true nature and forced him to face the consequences of his actions. Without that moment, the series would have lacked its most impactful turning point. And that's why the show's version of Rita remains far more compelling. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.